later. Okay, coming to you.
Coming to you.
In
Five,
4,
three,
3, 2,
1.
go.
Word, we back here with the old heads with King Bear Sadat and Special T. We got my man, the Pop Locking Assassin out there on the producer #1, and we got Encyclopedia Jones in the booth. But yeah, we're back talking about a few different things. One of the things I was watching on TV the other day was really just talking about how we treat one another. And one of the lessons I learned in life is that someone else's rights end where your rights begin.
Right.
You know, and being able to have respect for one another. Right. You know, and not feeling like, you know, my needs dominate the world and I can do whatever I want to run over you. I started thinking about one of the best things any of us could do. I wrote this down last night. One of the best things you can do in life is to be around people who truly love you. That to be around people and be around love, how nurturing that is and how that makes just a difference. Like that whole family connection, whether it's family, whether it's friends, how much being loved uplifts who we are in a sense of, you know, of goodness. Like, man, I've driven by your way a bunch of times and, you know, uncle telling me, you know, stop back by for some food, man. Like, you know, like the family's just chilling, man. I'm like, man, that's beautiful, man. Just getting together and just loving each other. And that's what I was thinking talking about Michelle Obama, just watching how Michelle didn't want to be any part of the politics. She didn't want none of this shit. And she was really concerned about how it was going to be about how raising her kids was going to go. Like, that was the most important thing to her, was raising her children so that the next generation is ready. It's talking about how Michelle's mother came in and taking the girls to school and just watching the family dynamic. And to watch people shit on the president, whether or not he did everything he could do for us, but man, just as an example of class, goodness, and how to be a good man, that's just a beautiful thing that brother was there for us for. You know, I'm going to miss Obama, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But
so why do you think, like right now, a lot of inner city youth join gangs? Man, because they miss that family.
I think that's exactly it, man.
Figure at home and all that.
Man, unfortunately, I got a cousin who right now is, and I don't really want to get into, he faced some serious legal situation because he joined the gang, you know, and things like that spiraled downhill from him. And basically coming from my family, where my grandmother had us all going to church, and we had a really strong family unit, it seems impossible that something like that can happen. Okay, but the thing is, if you ain't, look, I don't have any kids, and the reason why I don't have any kids is because I know that's a responsibility I don't want. Because I believe, especially with so many things pulling at people's kids nowadays, whether it be influences on the internet, just bad people, that just all the different things, you got to be on your kid's ass. Like, the idea that somebody, you know, kid has access to YouTube, shit, man, if I had kids, I'd be looking at, it'd be like a police state. I'd be looking at their phone, I'd have their phone copied to a phone I had that I can see everything they was doing, because there's too much treachery out there. I mean, even like the idea if you could think of it, you could pull it up on your internet. Instant. Woman with spoon in her ass. You could put that shit up immediately, it'll come up. Right. And kids have access. I mean, we was little, you might, you know, find your big brother, go under the bed and see a Playboy and see a naked titty and be like, ooh, you know, and you be all excited about that shit. Now you can see full-on orgies on the phone, and people sending their kids to school with this. And you know it's some degenerate who family ain't shit, showing your kids all that bullshit.
Like, not even growing up, somebody getting locked into the Playboy channel.
Yo, but what's so crazy? Locked into the Playboy channel.
I don't even know what that is. You locked out of it?
Locked
into it, like you couldn't change the channel, stuck on Playboy.
Growing up, the Playboy.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
but
how did someone be specific? How are you talking about? I remember that. I remember it, man.
So, I got information coming in.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, locked up, thank you. Now, let me just go back to that. So, back in the day, you had to have a box, right?
Yeah.
With a little key, right? So, see, we discovered where the key was at. So, we used to have to do the funniest shit, man, is I go with a lot of girl cousins. But we used to be watching all these little crazy, like, nasty-ass Alice in Wonderland where Alice is the dude with the Mad Hatter got 9.5 on his hat. And he's like, no, that's not my hat size. You know what I'm saying? We 12 years old, we watching that dirty ass shit. But yeah, man, what you gonna do? Kids will be kids. But by saying that though, with so many things pulling at them, you gotta limit their access. I mean, my parents tried to hide the key, but you know, kids gonna get over.
See, but then again, another thing is this. Like yourself, you watch all that was exposed to all that. Look how you turned out. You know, so
What's the difference?
no, I'm just
That you
saying
grew
like,
up.
that that you grew up still having access to that, but you ain't no porn star.
Yeah, but I didn't have access to this shit. I mean, dude, like really, like, dude, like I ain't see no penetration or nothing like that jumping off, or I mean, you know, none of that crazy shit. Like, but right now you can see full on, dude, girls basically you can see their uterus.
Everything.
What
right
about these days and ages? You got kids developing their own language that's being pushed into the mainstream. Like they actually making up words, and now they're being pushed into the dictionary.
Like what? Like
Like
what?
what?
Thought, bling bling.
now. Or like slang, making up their own
Yeah,
slang.
like it's words, and they're just like sexting.
Well, okay, I think the problem with that is not knowing the proper words. If all you know is them stupid ass bullshit words, and you are unable to say, you know, that instead of saying bling bling, that diamond ring shines with brilliance. not able to come to those. That's the problem. Is not being able to.
They talk like they text right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The idea that writing is a lost. Well, first, my handwriting is the worst ever. But the fact that they aren't teaching kids cursive anymore.
Yeah, I've
or
seen that.
that's
Like
crazy.
last
A
year
friend
or
of mine said to me that they think they should shut down the libraries because now you can get everything on the phone. But I think there's something to going in the library, going to go look at a book, going to sit down and being quiet.
Interacting with
Yeah,
people.
I think there's something to that study. You know what I'm saying? That there's something about the entirety of it that it has value. It's not just the end result where you find the information.
Right.
It's you have to take time. You have to go to know what the Dewey Decimal System is to be able to look up things. Like there's so that whole
ain't
practice
heard
is
Dewey
something.
Decimal,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
I'm over at the library the other day, and there's two kids smoking weed in the damn foyer. Knowing words like foyer, you know what I'm saying? In the foyer of the damn place. And I didn't want to say anything to the young brothers because if they'd have said anything slick, I'd have punched one of them in the mouth. So now I'm assaulted a child. I got to go to the job, just walk to cut my way. But that's a problem. I should have said something to them.
That's right.
I should have. I
You're
know.
saying They need that.
I know.
They need it. You know what I mean? So you can't pass up the opportunity
Man, it's
to educate
but
or help.
this a
young
different
one out.
day and age. I was online, and it was showing this older guy. He walks up to a group of young kids in front of a store, and he says something, and one of the kids said something to him, and you could see it changed. It went from this, and the words come back to now he done raised up like, well, this, that, and the third. So the one girl was standing here, another guy eating some chips, and then the one little guy, he just pulled out a pistol and shot the guy 3 times.
Right. Which is what I'm saying. If they get smart with me, I'm taking them out immediately. There ain't gonna be no gun shit. I'm gonna break them up for them. What? Damn!
Yo,
It's
Bo,
gonna-
it was the littlest one.
You're trying to help somebody, you see that they don't want the help. Okay, well, keep it moving.
No.
There's no sense of getting into an argument at that point.
No.
Now you stooping to their level.
Listen, I've been in situations where it don't start as an argument.
Right.
Before you even got there, he was already mad.
Yeah. of
Somebody, they just looking for
Stepped on
a
his shoe with
victim.
it.
Somebody already done did it to him. I was there. One day I'm at the store. Just real quick, I'm at the store. My man come up in there. He like, man. I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? He's like, man. But I didn't know. This other dude, Bibbs, then came and like violated him, hit him. He hurt. But now he couldn't catch up with Bibbs. So now he's just out there on the street corner, like looking around, and he's looking for a victim. Some other guy just come in the store looking and was like, hey, what's going on, brothers? And the guy that was already ticked off was like, what's up with you? And
Right.
I was caught off guard because I'm just like, whoa, I know you. What's going on? What happened? But
Why do you think the little 6-year-old kid feel that maybe knock over some Kool-Aid by accident and the mother just cold beat the shit out of him because some nigga just dogged her out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
The problem is never ending, man. It's
Yeah.
a cyclical, you know.
Right.
But
That's
one day,
black
dude-
kids get a ass whooping.
But
for
see,
no
look, that's
reason.
where consequences and having training comes in. Like, so I'm not gloating about it. But I study martial arts, and I've done a lot of fighting and sparring, and I've seen me hurt people, and I know what that can fucking do. But one day, one of my close friends, we all hanging out over on around the way over near Googie's house, drinking some beers and shit, and a bee flew my man Scrunch's bottom. I laughed, right? And he knocked it over to get the beer, and I'm laughing. So he knocked my beer over. And that's my man. So at first, my instinct is like, I'm gonna punch Scrunchy in his face. But I'm like, that's my friend. I'm gonna hit him over a beer. Even though he was wrong, I'm big enough to be like, man, you didn't knock my beer over. Right. Like, but that takes intellect to not be like, he punked me. That's that street shit.
Right.
He punked. My mother hit me with that. She goes, and they'll put that shit on your grave. He wasn't no punk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He stood up for his, and then he got shot and murdered because he wasn't no punk. But going back to the whole, stepping to young brothers and look, man, I know what I'm capable of, so I'm really, I can't take that smart ass mouth shit. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that I'm gonna say something to somebody and that they might say something slick, I'd just rather not get into it. And I know I have to find my way beyond that. I got to figure out a way to not abandon my young brothers and be able to say to them, like, look, young man. But that's funny too, because I was actually at and I think I've said this before with this one poem. But this one brother was, we were out one night drinking. And sometimes you get cats around. I live in Elmwood Village, so, that's a part of Buffalo that's very welcoming. It's open. So whether, you could be straight, gay, black, white, whatever, it's basically the rules in Elmwood Village. Don't be an asshole. You're basically pretty cool. But sometimes you'll get, like, really peaceful situations, and sometimes you get people coming to hang around and acting ignorant. So this one black dude was there just acting real ignorant, singing real loud. So like, I got tired of it. I'm having this intelligent conversation with these young brothers talking about Trump. This is before the election, it's still summertime. And I said to him, man, I'll give you $5, man, if you stop singing, right? And then we started getting into it a little bit. He started clowning. He started basically saying to me, I'm saying I'm doing what I want to. He goes, but he said something salty like, but most men don't get offended by something like that. I'm like, what you mean by that? He goes, I didn't mean it. I said, yeah, but you said most men. Like, I know you're trying to offend me and trying to say something offensive, like calling me not a man because I'm being bothered by you. But then I started talking to him about this poem called I Too Sing America by Langston Hughes, I believe. And the poem goes, I'm the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh, eat well, and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes, and nobody will dare laugh at me then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. And the whole bit about that is, man, we need to be beautiful, man. We need to be more like Barack Obama and other people who are upstanding and carry ourselves with honor and dignity. Or the nation, those brothers, you know what I'm saying? Where you carry yourself with dignity and you are carrying yourself as though you should be respected and have respect for yourself. But that comes from having your family on your ass to make sure that you don't get cut up. I mean, shit, I was a pretty good student, and the one time I skipped school, I came in the house and my pops was there. I was like, oh, shit. Man, he took my ass right back to school, and that was the end of that. I never tried that shit again. But, but you need to have parents there like that. Right, at the time when you're going through it, you're like, yeah, my dad don't let me do anything. You all salty because you're stupid and young, but you don't realize they're preparing you for a life that's going to be tough out there, and you got to be on point. If not, if you ain't ready to deal with the world, it will run over your ass. And especially when it's a society designed to put us to get more bodies that look like us in jail to keep their prison industrial complex going.
I'm gonna take that back to your barbershop story.
Right.
What if the old guy wouldn't have told you and the young other guy to stop cursing? Remember you said how that affected
I know,
you
man.
down the lines? So now what if you or your friend would have been like, motherfucker, fuck you, yeah, all that unnecessary.
They would have beat the dog shit out of us, first of all, dude. Could you imagine that shit? You up in college, Jeff, you getting salty? Man, what's Jerry's father's name?
Jerry.
Jerry would have took a chair and smacked. Oh, what about James?
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't even tell James how to cut your hair.
Nope.
He used to smack you with
The leather strap.
Dude, hold on.
Wow.
James would have you waiting with a half a hair while he go to his pot of beans to eat.
That's
and
on
you
the,
knew you couldn't say shit. You knew you couldn't say shit. Man, to me, like, go get my hair cut. And I ain't never going that motherfucker. James ain't give a motherfucker.
Nothing.
Shit, but man, I miss James. God bless James. I'm glad I had that experience.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Sitting there.
My son still asks about, hey, Dad, what happened to that old man you used to take me to? Because it was knowledge there.
Oh,
he could sit in a chair and hear about everything. Slavery, politics, sports, weather, all type of, you just sitting there.
Why they got the kung fu grip on the back
Sitting
of your
there.
neck.
George Clinton.
Sitting, just hearing it all.
Started out in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Man, that's that good shit,
Started
man.
out in the barbershop cut.
Who's that?
George Clinton.
George Clinton.